Hello, my name is VSin, and this is a snapshot of Hyperdimension Neptunia U Action Unleashed. Now this game came out on May the 19th, 2015 for the PlayStation Vita in North America. This is a, well, Action Unleashed version of Hyperdimension Neptunia. It's more of a beat-em-up action game. Think like Dynasty Warriors, or maybe for Vita fans it would be more Senran Kagura, so that sort of thing, you know? Anyways, I've been at this for... Let's go. I'll deal with those other options later. I'll start with the story mode first, but I've been at this for 7.5 hours so far. Ignore max level 95 Uni because I kind of just power leveled the shit out of her. Oh, let's just load this again.
Yes.
All right. So let's get into some gameplay before I do the customization thing. Okay. Let's see. Do you want the good first or do you want the bad first? I'm gonna do the moderate first. Okay. Let's go Valentina's path. Yep. Journalist first? Sure, let's do it.
Yep.
Like, in this case, there, for this game, there's a cast of 10 characters only, as far as I can tell. It's basically 8 characters from the previous Hyperdimension games, and then these two, Dengeki HOBBY Magazine, and Famitsu Magazine as well. They're represented by characters who, honestly, for the most part, seem to just be journalists. Generic journalists with a whole bunch of iconic stuff on them, and that's about it. I mean, Dengekiko, I'm sorry, her attacks seem to be referencing Toaru Kagaku no Railgun, which isn't Dengeki HOBBY Magazine. That's actually Dengeki BUNKO, which is slightly different and not as relevant. But I'm nitpicking, so whatever. Let's get into this. Let's start hacking and slashing this shit out of stuff. So in this case, this is a fairly standard boss mission. Basically what you have to do is you have to keep hacking the crap out of stuff. And eventually, if you beat up enough stuff, the boss will appear. If you... Okay, sorry, I'm getting my explanation mixed up. So basically, it's a fairly standard square and triangle hack and slashing. Characters do actually play fairly differently between them, although I've noticed that the sort of sword-style characters seem to play very similarly. Like I mentioned before, like H-dimensional railgun, you can hear the coin flip and then the railgun. So yay. It's Dengeki BUNKO reference. Why? Like, I mean, granted, the actual, like, Dengeki HOBBY Magazine referencing goes about as far as they have 4 coma in them, but whatever. I'm nitpicking again. So whatever, just do a whole bunch of different attacks. Okay, there are also these bosses that showed up. You can press down on the pad in order to change characters. If you hold down R and press X, you can get an HDD transformation. These characters apparently just have some very plot-convenient reason why they can HDD. It just because they can, apparently, is the plot reason. And of course, everyone has their own different attacks. If you hold LR and then press square, then you can unleash an EXE attack, special attack. It basically consumes your entire gauge and deals tons of damage. And looks cool. Although I will say that a couple of the attacks are kind of copy-paste. I mean, I'm excluding Nepgear because Nepgear is supposed to be copy-paste, but like in her case, that's just Tanzer and Trombe, which is kind of dull. Whatever. Either way, I think that was a moderate battle where it just shows off the basic mechanics. You notice that I did do tons of damage. It's because of the accessories I've picked out where I just went full offense, no defense. So I just deal tons of damage. At the end of battle, you also get XP. XP is determined by how much that character contributed, and they will level up and gain stats and stuff. Yay. Also, if you use a certain pairing of characters enough times, they will gradually gain Lily ranks. You do that enough times, they will have an XP boost while there. Oh, crap. What the fuck? Why did it happen?
Part is referring to what I think it is. I'd rather not cross that bridge.
What the fuck was that? Okay, what happens is that if you tap square, you skip ahead in dialogue, except you can skip ahead dialogue easily and without a prompt. And I've never found a way to review the...
Let's keep that as a backup plan in case this whole thing falls through, though. If they beat next gen mech, everything will be just fine. Let's hope for the best.
Like, you can accidentally scroll through so much text, and I've never found a way to replay the scenes, which really annoys me, because there's a couple scenes that I really want to show you, and I can't find a way to replay any of them. Like, I can't even access a previous save file, because one of them is the unlock event for the tower, but whatever. Let's do another quest. This time what we're going to do is we are going to do one of these red quests. For some reason, not too many of these pop, but what these are supposed to be... Oh, HDD and then when? That's bullshit. Either way, the red quests are supposed to be special quests where you just... Essentially, normally the clear condition is hidden, because I've already done all of them. You can see the clear condition now. But...
Okay.
And for example, tight squeeze. I'm just going to do this one real quick. Let's do Ram and Braum. Who the hell is my lowest level characters? I think. Okay, fine. Long convert. So basically, this is supposed to be a secret mission. Ignore the activate HDD and win part, because actually that's not how you have to do it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this mission goes. You load into it, you're not supposed to know what the objective is. You kind of just load in and try to figure out what's going on, you know? Oh, let's start the quest. I was like, oh crap, I am doing no damage. At all. What do I do? Well, let's see. It was a special. Nope, special moves do no damage either. Gee, what am I supposed to do? Well, if you change characters for a very short period of time, you suddenly deal tons of damage. See? But that only lasts for a short period of time, and then afterwards, you know, you can't deal damage to it, so you just switch characters back. And then that's how you deal with it when you're not 10 levels above the content. Yeah, that looked kind of dumb. But really, when you're at level appropriate and this pops up for the first time, it's a far more interesting quest, I feel. Like, it's more interesting, the content. It's like, what do I do here? Now, one of the other things that this game likes to purport is the RPG mechanics. I'll get into more fights later once I show you the other two pieces of content, but let's just go into setup. Let's do City Watch first, though. These are just character events that'll show up. Some of these may or may not trigger quests to show up. I'm going to show you the Neptune one, and this time I won't skip through it randomly because from accidentally pressing the square button.
It's so peaceful. Truer words were never sighed, but I feel like I'm forgetting a little something something. What was it? When I chat it up with you, my brain starts doing that tingly thinking thing, but...
Neptune, if you say something like that while staring so hard at me, I can't help but feel embarrassed.
Aha! That brought it all back. Here, I gotta give this back to you.
It's the super ultra mega gear I made for you before. You had it with you this whole time? Thank you, but I don't need it. After all, our dreams came true without having to rely on it. Us sisters brought peace back to game industry, right? In other words, keep it.
Oh, now don't get all huffy when I ask this, but I can't use this thing, so mind if I chuck it in the trash?
No, wait! I do need it! I can use that gear when I finally cause game industry to transform!
Well, I'll be a robot with lions for my hands and feet. Transform, huh? Okay, in the trash this thing goes. Or I could snap it like a music CD that I don't like anymore. This truly is the final barrier to peace.
Do you really think so? Well, if you say it's for the best, Neptune, then I guess that's fine.
Snappy snap! And as the shards of the toothy wheel thing descend to the earth, peace was restored to all of game industry. But I still feel weird about busting up a gift from you, Neptunior. You spent a lot of time making it and stuff.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine. You worry too much, Neptune. I mean, after all, the most important gift to me in the whole wide world is you.
Now, as someone who has actually played solid chunks of the Hyperdimension franchise, I'm not necessarily against those sorts of scenes. My problem is that almost all the scenes are like that. There are some humor scenes that I wish I could show you, but unfortunately I can't because, well, one of them is an unlock scene, which I really wish I could re-show you, but I would have to somehow basically re-download and replay the entire thing all over again to play it again, because for some mysterious reason there's no way to replay scenes. I have no idea why, but there you go. But as I would just interrupted myself, my problem is basically that 90% of the scenes in this game are sisterly, cute sort of thing. And granted, there was like that tinge of humor with transforming game industry into Voltron. There was actually an earlier scene that is referencing where Nepgear comes up with the idea of transforming game industry into Voltron, which is funny in its own way, but whatever. But it's just like so many of these cutscenes are so dependent on like their original characters being cutesy, and it's just like, could you change the tone or something like that? I mean, don't get me wrong, like there's these lean box ones which do something different as well. Game news, I'll just show you that in a second, but like, could they have had more variety? The story itself is already paper thin. It's basically, there is a threat, beat the threat, then gain new power so you can actually beat the threat, then you beat the threat, and now there is no more threat. I wish that was oversimplifying, but that's really the entire story. Also, one of the things is that each of these characters, if you use them enough, eventually they'll unlock these three well, short cutscenes, but they're really just unlocks. The first one is easier to destroy clothing, the second one is pre-destroyed, third one is indestructible. This game actually does have a clothing destruction mechanic, if you manage to screw up enough to actually get hit ever. Again, because I have the Berserker equipment, basically if I get hit I die instantly, but whatever. So, like, for example, this is what one of the cutscenes look like.
Now loading. Hey everyone! It's time for Dengekiko News, where I talk about the latest and greatest headlines. In the news today, newsflash, Nepgear's birthday suit. There's no way Nepgear would get caught doing anything like this. Is this that tricky Nepagia again? Anyway, some unwarranted comments have been circulating about these girls, such as, so hot, eternal lover, Nepgear is so gonna be my waifu, I'm nude too, and many others. These aren't just comments though, these are our fans' fetish delusions, and that last one was so gross. Pardon me, this proves that something must be done to alleviate our fans' overwhelming desires. Thus, Torn Duds has been sent over. We hope it will be enough to placate you. At least we can rest assured that Nepgear wasn't being impersonated by that Nepagia girl again. Stick around for the next exciting installment of Dengekiko News. This is Dengekiko, signing off.
That's basically just unlock for a certain set of equipment, which I will be going to in a second once this finishes loading.
Done. Yes.
Alright, so setup.
Yes.
Let's go through the actual setup first.
Yes.
So let's just pick Neptune, because why not? Now, you have a whole bunch of different equipment options here. The first one is weapon. Weapon is unlocked through the medal system. I'll show you that in a second. Basically, you pick your weapon, better weapons deal more damage. No big deal here. You can also change their hair color as well as their body, clothing. And you have 3 accessory slots. As you can see here, the one I've picked is Maximizing Kit, which is plus 2000 attack minus all your defense. Which is just the way I like to play the game, but whatever. Now, these pieces of equipment have some, like, for example, this piece is all positive bonuses. Let's just look at this one, for example, is sacrifice a crap ton of HP for damage output. Some of it is attack for special powers. Let's see here. What the hell is it? There's other ones like this one, which will give you full EXP at the start of the quest. Increase parameters at the expense of defense, and then more HED. a whole bunch of other different things. Greed radar, drop rate of the regen item, and stuff like that. I just like using the damage items. Let's see, should I swap out of them though? Because here's the thing. Let's do Blossom Kit for a second. This is basically what your standard-ish attack defense looks like. And what I've noticed is that if you're going up against equal level content, that much defense does nothing. No, I'm serious. Like, I've gone through missions without the maximizing kit that drops your defense to 0. And what I've noticed is that basically you will deal a fuck ton less damage, still get one-shotted, and just take forever, basically. So I almost always go for the Berserker kit because you're dead anyways. With one exception being the arena as well. For the HDD mode, you can also customize what accessories you want. If you press L or left or right on the pad, you can also select which skills you want to use. You just only start with 2 skills at the start of the game. Gradually, you will unlock more skills. That's about it. And you can do that for all your characters. Whatever. In this case, you can see some characters I have more weapons with than others, etc. They also have their own set of base stats. You can look up the command list.
Yes.
Personally, I'd say that most of these commands are fairly standard. I mean, Noir is like basically square, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle, which is slightly interesting. But then there's like Nep Gear, which is literally square into triangle. A triangle whenever the hell you feel like it. And then there's Uni. She's a ranged character. You basically mash or hold down square. Like, actually, Uni, the reason why I'm level 95 Uni is just he's so easy to use and so exploitable. But aerial combos are really terrible. Like, Ram and Rom are also ranged characters. Dengekiko has decent aerial, you saw that earlier. Lily EXE drive. Lily rank, this is where you check Lily ranks, and depending on character, they may or may not have bonuses. They will also have, if you press X, you can also have them talk about some pieces of dialogue, which and I've just talked over all of it because I'm an asshole. Let me do that again.
But I guess you and I are getting to be a stale cookie of a combo.
I don't think that's true. We've only canonically journeyed together twice after all.
You know, and stuff like that, and they'll make quips about each other. Lily ranks, what they also do is, depending on rank, they will give you an XP bonus if they're set up like that when they go into battle, basically. Medal Collection. This is one of the upgrade systems. Medal Collection is basically how you get all your various different upgrades. So your accessories, permanent stat boost, weapons for certain characters, etc. Basically what you do is you just beat up a whole bunch of monsters of the listed monster, and beat up enough of them, they'll drop a whole bunch of medals. Get enough medals, you get upgrades. Not too complicated. Have all these different types of enemies. You only had to beat up the final boss once to get Mind Kid EX. Regardless, here are all the enemy types in the game. You encounter them gradually over time. Nope. Do I have anything else I need to unlock? Okay, sweet.
You got it.
Let's quickly unlock this stuff.
Yes.
Careful Kit X. I don't really like Careful Kit. Oh, Bomber Kit EX. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother equipping that, though. Actually, I'll start trying to equip it just to show you one of my complaints about the upgrade system. So you see I have a Bomber Kit there, and I want to upgrade it to Bomber Kit EX, because Bomber Kit EX is better, right? Well, then I had to use all the Bomber Kit EXs. Bomber Kit EX, R, Bomber Kit EX, up, Bomber Kit EX,
Hey, pretty cute.
Bomber Kit EX, Bomber Kit EX, Bomber Kit EX. You get the idea, for all 8 characters.
How do I look?
Could they have picked a slightly less obnoxious way of navigating this so that when I get the better piece of equipment, I can actually get through this a lot faster than this incredibly
How is this?
clumsy way of
How do
doing
I
it?
look?
Because I don't know a way to rapidly equip this stuff. Also, if you did cosmetic upgrades, you can press square to show the model and stuff. Anything else I need? Nope. Let's get out of here. Sound is just soundtracks, you can play them. tutorial config. Let's get into here before I get back to the main menu. You have separate auto sliders. Default audio is fine. Voice setting, you actually have the ability to turn voices on or off for individual characters. When it says applies to all voice usage, this includes cutscenes, by the way. So yeah, just saying. I'm just gonna drop a spoiler. Others also covers IF and Compo. They show up after the end game as basically cameo characters. They're not playable, sadly. Key config, you do have the ability to remap your keys if you so desire. Camera settings, you have your regular inversion as well as turn speed. Display settings, these are just various HUD display stuff. Language, you don't have to reload the game in order to change voice language. I'm going to stick to English for this. Cheats. Cheats are unlocked after you beat the final boss of the regular game. You eventually will unlock these over time as you accomplish certain objectives. HDD lock, I believe, is unlocked by beating the final boss. Wall of Steel, I think is unlocked through the arena. Can't remember. And you can see all these different attacks like invulnerability, one hit everything, infinite EXE drive, infinite SP gauge. These sound like fun, but I don't know how to unlock them yet. Let's get out of here for a second.
Are you returning to the titles? Never mind.
Hold on, let me actually just save my progress for a second, since I did gain XP from this. Alright. Back to the title. For the other two features of this game.
Hyperdimension Neptunia.
So after you beat the main story, you unlock Game Industry Gauntlet.
Now we'll know who's the best.
Now what you do is you load one of your save files. This uses the characters in that save file. Let it load. Also, why do all the characters say now loading during the loading screens? I'm just not sure why. Now anyways, Game Industry Gauntlet. This is basically a PvP. Well, not really a PvP mode. There's no versus character. Difficulty, Wimpy Decent Pro. I'm not going to do Wimpy. The reason why I'm not going to do Wimpy is because I literally one-shot everything in Wimpy. So I'm going to do Decent and let's see what happens. You can do selection method, player select, and dump players in wherever the hell you feel like. I'm going to do random just to save time. After that, you can choose your entrant. Just for the record, if you pick one of the HDD characters, you will start in HDD and just get to wreck everyone as HDD. Screw it. Let's just use Uni because I've over-leveled her. And then it'll just randomly distribute all these characters, blah blah blah, whatever. And then Brave the Gauntlet. Then what happens is that the rest of the Gauntlet will start being automated. I'm just going to skip all that dialogue.
No matter who
And then eventually it shows up on your battle. And then it's a sort of PvP action. Although, honestly, the way I do this is I just spam EXE drives right at the start and hope to God that I don't die. Really, I'm not even kidding. That's how I do the arena mode, because I've just noticed that, at least... Also, that was the costume break. You see here, I'm kind of just cheesily comboing the shit at them. Oh, fuck. I got out of that. Do a Brave Cannon. Where the hell did you go? Got into a trap. Brave Cannon again, and that should do it for the PvP.
That was easy.
Now that was a great fight. Yep, that match was great.
And IF and Compo will just
Now loading.
quip in the background after each match. And then it'll continue automating the brackets.
Hurry it up.
And then,
Hurry.
there we go, automate the
No matter
brackets.
who I face, I'm going to go all
Time
out.
for my battle again.
You better remember this. Got it?
Yay, more PvP. Come on, finish loading, please.
This is a great matchup. Thanks for the wait, everyone.
Too slow.
This is like
I'll hurt your eyes.
Dude Raider.
There you go, more costume breaking, yay.
Not done. I gotcha. I'm not done.
Frick.
It's only just
Stun
begun.
trap.
Too slow. There. Locked on. Fire.
This is a
Gotcha.
ton of full power
No,
stroke.
cannon.
Crap. Brave Cannon missed.
Neither
Suck.
side is backing down.
Thank God.
No! Locked on. Gotcha. There. Too slow. No, too slow.
Attention
Fire.
all the way here at our desk.
Gotcha. No! Brave cannon. Not bad. Too slow.
The opponent's HP is
Fire.
going way down.
Gotcha. No!
Ah, crap.
Oh!
Oh!
No!
The main problem I found is that because of the fact that I have no defense equipment, if I get hit once, I die instantly.
She did her very, very bestest.
So that's what happens when I, screw up.
Now loading.
I've noticed though that even if you have defense equipment, these enemies will actually still one-shot you. So I have no idea what this level scaling is. Like, literally the first one is I one-shot them. This one I have to basically crowd control them to hell in order to stand a chance of winning.
Now loading.
And then if I manage to do that, then I basically just win without ever getting hit. But even if...
Want to do
I'm just
anything
gonna get out of here now, but like, I don't know what the level scaling is for this. The first one is do nothing and win instantly. The second one is screw up once and you die instantly, and then there's pro. Like, what? Really? Anyways, Neptune Tower, last one I want to deal with. Honestly, it's a quest. In all honesty, it's a quest.
Now loading.
The real reason why I'm loading into this, though, is not just because it's just a quest, but because I want to show you how cheesy it is. Oops. So there you go. I'm on floor 32. Because I've only gotten to this with Uni, I'm going to use Uni again. Oh, there we go.
Do your best. I'm sure you can figure it out.
I think you saw that the recommended level was like 30 or something, and I'm level 95. Time to show you the cheese. The Swiss cheese, seriously.
You'll get shot if you underestimate me.
Just run past everything, not care. Hold square! And this is how I win. I'm serious. All you have to do is hold down square. The system even auto aims for you, which is actually kind of disgusting, to be honest. Oh well, let's just use the Brave Cannon just to kill the bosses off faster. Just stand in the corner and auto aim. And turn your brain off. Granted, you do actually technically have to do this with every single character, so you can't just cheese like this all the time. But even so, it's just like, meh. Like, this is basically first order optimal strategies working a little bit too well. Oh fuck. That's a boss attack. Unfortunately, because of my lack of defense, the bosses will in fact one-shot me. There we go.
An item?
I'm just spamming Brave Cannon because it does more damage.
What? Scatter Orion.
Like, there are other special moves on Uni, obviously, but...
No.
Yep. And I think that's it for this floor.
An item?
I think? Oh, there. There we go.
Did it. What? Brave cannon. Did it. Found an item.
One more boss. Come on.
Okay, good. I have enough. Fire. That's what you get. Found an item. Brave cannon. Okay,
Come on.
good.
Where's the
Have
rest of the
enough.
bosses? Am I done? Finally. Okay.
So easy, it's a punchline.
And that's that.
As I thought.
You know, to be bluntly honest, that's basically how most of the tower seems to keep going.
I'll keep getting
I mean, apparently the final boss shows up again at the end of this, but...
yeah.
You know what? Let's stop with the really, really boring shit. Let's get to the one thing that I actually like. I'm gonna spoiler it. Here's the final boss coming up. So let's just get back out of Neptune Tower. I'm just gonna quickly save this for XP.
Where do we
Do you
start
really
Back to the title screen, back to the questing.
from?
do story, continue, load. There we go.
Right. Now
Let me show you the one fight that I actually like. This one.
Right.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, let's just use the squad that I used before. No.
So what? No
Nepgear first. Alright.
Is this
Let's start with the
really
quest.
final battle?
Now for the final battle, what you have to do is
Just a
you first
second.
of all... You know, I'm just going to play the final battle because I'm using the 0 defense accessories, which means that I get one-shotted if I screw up. Oh, let's just fight this boss and then we'll finish this off.
Here I come. I hope I'll do okay.
The next dimension.
This one's a toughie.
Hit. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Here. Virtua Strider.
Change characters.
So tired.
Then I have to do...
Nip your face.
Ah, fuck. I used the wrong one. My bad.
This is it.
Fuck. Used the wrong thing.
I can take over for you. If you're hurt, let me know.
Oh, fuck.
I can take
Ah,
over for
fuck.
you. If you're hurt, let me know.
Oh, fuck. Okay, let's try that again. I fucked that up completely.
I won't fail more than once.
Oops.
I'm a CPU too, so I won't let a silly
Okay, so the first attack go through.
Kidding.
Flash wave.
Ah, fuck.
Crumbs, buddy.
Whoa.
You okay? Let me know if you're drained and I'll take over for you.
There we go. LR triangle. Then use this attack. This is what makes the boss vulnerable in the first hit. And then I'm going to switch to Neptune. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Damn it.
Take a break.
Ah, damn it.
Let's continue.
Yeah, needless to say, I died to this boss a lot.
From above.
Wait for this first attack to go through. Alright. Use this EXE skill, invulnerability frames. I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay in this phase for a while. Just to gain EXE drive. I can beat this. Oh crap.
I'll help you.
Okay.
So redouble your efforts.
Whoa! Take this and this and this.
Okay, Nepgear can activate HDD.
Not
Now do the tag attack.
You lose.
Now this tag attack will make the boss vulnerable. And then what I do is I basically just spam the tag attack repeatedly.
Time to switch. Here.
Switch out. Tag attack again.
Not happening. You're
Fuck.
looking crummy, buddy.
And just use Nepgear special to finish this off.
Come on, it's just a scratch.
There we go. Special spam, the boss. But seriously, if you fuck up, you die horribly. It's like this is probably my favorite encounter in the entire game, to be honest.
Gosh, game industry was way too peaceful. It was so boring. I wish I could have played with everyone a bit longer.
And that's the final boss. Again. Yeah, apparently you can just repeat this boss, which is nice because I wanted to show you the encounter. I feel that this is basically the only boss that is actually interesting with its mechanics.
Awesome.
Like all the other bosses are just you kind of bludgeon them to death until they die, which is kind of dull. But like this boss is you dodge, you do shit. Also, this isn't actually the thing. This is just the credit scene, so whatever. And save. And that's about it. And that's really the entire game. Honestly, I wanted to end it on the what I consider to be the best note. Because to be honest, I think that after you end the main story, it kind of just falls off like a cliff. Like, actually, this... Like, there are some interesting concepts of the mechanics, like the secret missions, the red missions, those have interesting mechanics. The final boss has interesting mechanics. But then everything else is just beat wave after wave after wave of monsters, then beat another wave of monsters, then beat the bigger monster that reacts the exact same way as all the other monsters, and then keep doing that again and again and again. And yes, you do have like these quirky cutscenes, but they're very few in number, especially at the start of the game, and they kind of just happen. They're nothing but the cutesy, very little cross-referencing that I've noticed. Like a couple of jokes, like again, I mentioned Voltron, but apart from that, I don't know. What I'm trying to say here is that there really isn't much to this game, I feel, you know? So would I recommend it? From my perspective, I would honestly say no. Again, because I focus on game mechanics and game aspects, and in that regard, it peters itself out ludicrously quickly. Like with something like Senran Kagura, I would say I still don't like it, but hey, you have a very extensive story. This doesn't have the extensive story. For something like, let me just go back, Dynasty Warriors Gundam, for example, or Gundam Musou, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, you have the cross-referencing, you have the self-referencing, you have a highly varied cast. In this case, all the sword users are basically identical, in my opinion. Like, you have much bigger, better bosses, varied encounters, dynamic rooms. This game is so much one room, or one room moved to the next one room. Like, there's no sense of battlefield flow, there's no sense of progression, there's no sense of transition. It kind of just, you beat shit up repeatedly, which is okay in short bursts, but when it's your entire game, that's kind of dull, in my opinion. So TLDR, honestly, I don't recommend it, because I feel it just burns itself out way too quickly. Like, it does get the combat feel right, you know, like, characters on their own are pretty good. It looks pretty. And, like, it actually looks really fucking good for a Vita game. It handles well. But I just... After a certain point, it just becomes a slog and a grind. And like, the content variety goes from decent into fuck all. So, I don't know. Like, TLDR, it's just... It wears itself out too quickly. I don't know. My name has been VSIN. Thanks for watching.